Senator Hassan.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair, and thanks to our witnesses for being here. I want to thank the Chair and Ranking Member Crapo for holding this important hearing today. It's very well timed. In January, the House overwhelmingly passed on a 357-70 vote a bipartisan tax package that would boost U.S. manufacturing through the tax code. This bipartisan package would restore full and immediate deductions for R&D investments, an effort I've long worked on with Senator Young, among other major tax priorities for our manufacturers and our small businesses. In addition to supporting our domestic manufacturing sector, the bipartisan tax package would also cut taxes for hardworking families through the child tax credit. The package is a bipartisan win-win, and the Senate needs to pass it as soon as possible before we reach the end of the tax filing season in April. So I urge my colleagues to come together to clearly identify a path forward for this bill that is so important to small businesses, and I will emphasize that point, thousands of small businesses across the country and families all across the country. So I am grateful to our witnesses today because each brings to the table a unique understanding of the importance of passing this bipartisan package. I want to start with a question to you, Mrs. Silver, because you are a small business owner, as I understand it. In your opening statement, you spoke about how incentives for research and development can help small and mid-sized manufacturers like your business. So just following up a bit on where Chair Wyden was asking you questions about, can you explain from your perspective how the bipartisan tax package would help small manufacturers invest in their communities and create jobs?
Sure. Thank you for the question. So specifically about R&D, so I have an example of that. I have been doing business with a software company that provides software solutions for the manufacturing industry. They have a business in Texas. I've been doing business with them for 17 years. And it's what we run our entire company on.
Right.
And they were dramatically affected with the change in the R&D tax provisions expiring. They created less jobs. They had less liquidity in their company to grow, to innovate. And therefore, the product that I use every day to run my business is affected. Yeah. So like I said in my testimony, manufacturing is a team sport. Right. And so it doesn't matter the size, the structure. If you're a C Corp, a pass-through entity like mine, we are all affected by these tax provisions. And when my large manufacturing customers do well, we do well.
Gotcha. Thank you very much. To Mrs. Shannon Janis, first of all, just a thank you to onsemi for having a wonderful facility in Hudson, New Hampshire. We are very proud of the work you do and grateful for the jobs that you all have created there. You discussed in your opening statement how other countries are starting to outpace the United States in R&D. China, for example, offers Chinese businesses a super deduction of up to 200% of their R&D costs. Again, following up on Chair Wyden's question, how would passing the bipartisan tax package help U.S. manufacturers outcompete their counterparts in China?
You're correct, Senator Hassan. China, along with other nations, provide a 200% deduction for R&D expenses. So this means that Chinese companies can deduct 200 for every 100 spent on innovation. Yeah. U.S. companies face capitalization rules that hinder immediate expensing for R&D, especially R&D salaries and wages. To enhance U.S. competitiveness, as I recommended before, I strongly recommend that Congress make immediate R&D expensing permanent to provide businesses with the clarity and assurance with the associated costs on R&D projects.
Thank you. And finally, to Ms. Fenley, the bipartisan tax package would not only boost U.S. manufacturing, as we've just been talking about, it also cuts taxes for working families through the child tax credit and helps increase affordable housing through the low-income housing tax credit. Could you please talk about how the bipartisan tax bill would benefit both businesses and hardworking families?
Sure. Thank you for the question. We've talked a lot about how it would impact businesses, which obviously creates long-term stability for working families. Right. But of course, the child tax credit is so important to working families, particularly those at the margins. I think it's incredibly important that we look at the most expansive version of that we can to help lift many, many children out of poverty.
No, understood, and this is a good compromise bill. Thank you very much.